Another ICC. It's time for another Iced Coffee Chronicles. Today we're featuring butter pecan sweetener. Not a fan. Should have gone with French vanilla or maybe even venture to mocha, you know. But let's see what's up. I got a new gizmo in the mail today. Excuse me. I got a new gizmo in the mail today. Which is you can see I'm connected. It's fine. I feel like in general, for what I have immediately available, I think this works the best. Um, I guess that portion that I listened to when I did check the audio yesterday was good, but it was like in and out. And I know my other stuff is like so my podcasting mic is packed and the little mic that I was gifted is packed. So I have to find it. I feel like I should know where it is, but when I moved out, it was let's just try to make sure everything fit in here in the storage unit situation. I got one of these, which is a Beyblade. This isn't sponsored by Beyblade. It's also not a Beyblade. It's a dice spinner. So on one side you have the D8, the D10, and the D20. On the other side is the D4, the D12, and the D6. So you can see like D6, 10, 20, maybe. I don't know if it'll focus. There you go on that side. And then the other side has the other ones. So we're going to use this. Um, if you give this a good spin, it will spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and like never stop. Like even if I put my finger on it, there you go. It is ridged. 446. I guess I do. This isn't a product review or anything, but on this side, like on the D4, D6, and D12, all the ones line up. I don't know if you can see it. I just wish it was maybe like more randomized so that that wasn't the case. Like, you can't even see it. There you go. All the like the ones line up. Trying to find the light. There you go. All the ones line up. Okay, you saw it. Um, so I don't know if I'm going to do something with this. I still have the freshly sleeved Fable Maker's Tarot that fits in the box very differently now, but still fits in the box. Um, my iced coffee, my order number today was 7886. Yeah, 7886. 88 is a 16. So 7166. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing today. We'll see. Um, actually, I'm gonna see if I can't pull up my cheat sheet to know. This makes it easy. I kind of like what I did yesterday. I would also love to use it more to get in the habit of looking at the different elemental whatever of the zodiac elemental sides of those zodiac energies. It's just so like not my notebook. Okay, there we go. There we go. I was like, where's all my stuff? All right, so I almost went live to like sleeve all the cards, but I don't know what I would have talked about. There's my disology page. And then how do I? There we go. I got my little cheat sheet. Cool. So we're gonna do 2D10s. And I'm gonna try to like barely spin it. Because like I said, this thing will go and go and go and go. You can't see it because the D10 side is facing me. What else is happening? What else is going on? Uh, yeah, I don't know. All right, it's slowing down. The first number is 1. So we're within the majors, and then I'll just pull before and after this one. And see I don't know why I care so much. I mean, I guess I do know why I care about the audio because I want it to at least sound decent. Ooh, that's like right on the line. It's like I can't show you. It's right on the line between 2 and 9. So between 12 and 19, which is the hangman and the sun. And it goes up into the energy of death because it goes on the D20, it's 13. Um, and then it also straddles the line between the elements of water and fire, which is interesting. I feel like we haven't seen that combination yet. I wonder if it'd be like easier to set it down. 0. Well, that's on the line between 7 and 0. Anyway, all right, all right, all right. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull before and after the hangman and the sun. This will just be a general whatever. Um, I don't know, I feel like it's interesting that we're in Libra season because Libra symbolizes balance. You know, it's like okay, well, why is that interesting? Because it is. All right, one more. And the cut. Bottom of the deck is the star, judgment, and the king of wands. There's something interesting here. This feels like it's the word coronation comes to mind, but not necessarily. I guess you could say, yeah, 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 sure. It feels like a coronation of some kind of Leo energy, which is interesting because we were in between Cancer and Virgo yesterday, last night, this morning, barely over 12 hours ago. um, or about 12 hours ago. What time is it? I don't know. Ooh, my laptop is not plugged in. Give me a second. I'll look at the battery. This thing is about to die. Yeah. Oh, not you. Wrong chord. Ooh, this one. This is what I was looking for. This is what I looked for. Are you on stop? Okay. I do not. It is plugged in. I'm glad I glanced down at that because this thing would have died on me. I can't remember if my laptop warns me when it's about to die or if it just like shuts off. Honestly, don't know. Okay. It feels like it's almost a coronation of some sort. Like something is going from pre Leo court, court card Leo energy to the sun, and we're looking for the sun because we're looking between 12 and 19. And it's like because the sun is a star, this also gives me first of his name, first of his kind, Semyaza, the angel of pride. And it's the one version of Semyaza that looked up to the stars to remember who he was or whatever. Because it's like, here's the King of Wands, there's the judgment, and then here is like the dispersal, the dispensing of his star power. Now, partnered with, was that for the eclipse? That, like, I think it was for the eclipse, the funnel of now it's two of them, I guess, and they're spinning in opposite directions. One is clockwise, one is counterclockwise. Um, it's that energy, like the King of Wands' vessel is open to the energy of the star that will turn it into a sun. This pre-Leo energy becomes major arcana Leo energy. And again, we're looking for the sun, so it's interesting that this is the case. It's interesting to me. Um, and let's continue looking for the sun and the moon. Saw the moon, which is not the sun. Oh, strength, if you're curious. We're looking for the sun to clarify Leo. I don't even know if it's Leo though, necessarily. It's just like the sun rules Leo. King of Wands is fixed fire, which is Leo. This is Leo embodied. And then even here, it's all of this like sort of like all around him. And some of the other cards, it's just the wands. But this is like all around his body, which is also interesting because it feels like this is a very similar energy to the Ace of Coins from yesterday, from this morning. It's similar to the Ace of Coins from this morning, but the Ace of Coins, it felt like it was something inside that like comes out, which is kind of sort of having this take on a different energy. Because in that way, this feels like a channeling. This is someone you could say who was stationarily employing the power of faith, charging their faith, getting into the spiritual zone. And then, like you tell the mountain to move, and the mountain moves. It has to be, we can speak things into our lives and into the universe. But when you speak things with conviction, authority, sovereignty, this it's almost tapping into that thing that I couldn't place before, that I don't necessarily desire to place, because it'll be different for everybody, and it's something for us to find if it's our path to find it. But that was the thing, because it was around Neptune, and it was like what differentiates the smoke of Neptune from the fog of Neptune. What is spoken and becomes true versus what is spoken and remains a lie. And I don't know if maybe this judgment, the angel of judgment, is like co-signing the King of Wands, but it feels like from this position, there's something, some kind of energy, some kind of force that the King of Wands is like gathering. It's like when Goku goes Super Saiyan, you know? Or whenever like it's like building up energy. And it's funny that the high priestess is here with the seven of coins. But okay, before that is death. We have the high priestess and the minor high priestess. Because on the other side is the two of swords. Um, Under the high priestess is the seven of coins. And the gold that is struck here in the seven of coins, like it feels like that's the sword. I don't know if I'm back. I got hit with the you're offline again. Tread carefully. It's the energy. I gotta check and see if I'm still live. Give me a second. I don't necessarily feel like staying on here for 2 hours only to find out that 15 minutes in it cut off. Because that's happened before. I'm just like, oh, I guess it wasn't meant to be heard or shared or whatever. To be yeah, okay, I'm still alive. It has been like it's been really, really good at that lately. Because before, if my connection was interrupted at all, the whole thing would just whatever. But it's been catching up. It's been rebounding. Um, so yeah, whatever this mysterious power is that is found through cultivating almost something else, maybe through the healing process. Before the oop, okay, so then we're back here with the moon and the king of chalices from this morning. I'll keep wanting to say last night. After those two, it's the ace of coins because I was like, oh, there's the ace of coins. And again, it feels like whatever this energy swirling, the energy coming out of the ace of coins is the same as the energy that's swirling around this king of wands. But it's almost like a cup that overfloweth. The king of wands builds up so much internally that it spills out into the world around it. And the king of wands is one individual, and there are multiple springs of this light, multiple sources of streams, multiple streams. So it's like multiple kings of wands that all overflow, that all impact the world around them to the point where the whole world changes. Um, After the ace of coins is death, and then the seven of pentacles, and then the high priestess. So that's these two, four, six cards. High priestess going backwards. High priestess, seven of coins, death, ace of coins, king of chalices. And I think it's still maybe like this is how the king of wands becomes the sun, or this is why. Which is it's giving me again, or going back to the energy of the three kings of the underworld, Radamanthus, Aeacus, and Minos. Especially Radamanthus and Aeacus. Minos was kind of like our paths are different. As long as we get where we're going, that's all that matters. Um, and sometimes we can only do whatever it is that we're able to do, or we can only reach or connect to who we're able to reach and connect to because of what we do. So that's all before the card before strength. The after is the two of swords. Oh well, there's one of our cards. The two of swords, the king of swords, the hanged man, and the five of swords. After the five of swords is the empress. So again, there's our minor high priestess on this side, next to the king of swords. So the hangman is actually in between the king of swords and the five of swords. which is interesting. Again, the Five of Swords more recently coming out in the energy in an energy that is one of like a forced disarming. And a forced disarming, basically, there is a change that is happening, and anything that stands against that change will fall. Any plot, plan, or agenda that works against that change will fail. Any power that stands opposed will fall, will lose that power. And it's like this Five of Swords is going to be like basically taking those swords from these by force, if necessary. Unfortunately, sometimes it's necessary. Well, unfortunately for who? I guess unfortunately for the one that loses the sword, but to the people who are affected, sometimes it's very fortunate that, things change. Um, but if we look at strength, we're looking for the sun, but if we look at strength, it's in between the Eight of Swords and the Two of Coins. We've actually seen, I feel like in this deck, but maybe not in this deck, we've seen the Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords before. And it was something about the cards where the people wear blindfolds. There was a message there. Um, but I feel like most recently, we've seen the Eight of Swords with the Three of Swords Temperance, Eight of Swords Death. I think that was the sequence. There may have been another card, but it was because something had healed with that Three of Swords that there was something that can be recognized and welcomed. Some part of the self that we couldn't see because of the thing that we couldn't heal past, basically. And so again, it's interesting that within the context of this King of Wands is about to receive some kind of starlight and be filled to the point where it is welcomed into the ranks of the major arcana, the sun, which is again the other card that we're looking for. So I guess yeah, continuing off of that. Now the Two of Pentacles, it speaks to balance, as does the Strength card in some ways. But the lemniscate above the head of the lady or the angel in strength, that's the domain that this Two of Pentacles is like sort of balancing. Those two pentacles symbolizing the world. Last time we saw it, well, we've seen the Two of Pentacles nocturne and the SKT Vitruvian recently, which is the North Node world and the South. And it was that we're making a transition from one to the other again in the space of this transition and the time of transition. And something, it's like something will definitely sway things one way or the other, hopefully for the better. Right. Cool. Uh, so yeah, again, that Two of Swords led us to the window of the Hangman, King of Swords, Five of Swords. So now we're looking for Two of Coins, Two of Swords. I didn't catch that. You could say this is the Earth and Air of Taurus. I really want again. I don't know how the Empress is after that Five of Swords. I don't know how. I want to. I don't know. I just want to play there. I don't know when. Don't know where. Don't know how. So this step gave us the Outlaw, the Hangman. So this other half with the Nine of Pentacles. is going to give us the sun. Cut. This is so cool. I love this. The tower, the nine of coins, where we just saw the fool. What I like about the fool in the tower, it feels like, and the tower's at the bottom, it feels like the fool takes a preemptive leap. The fool exits the tower before lightning strikes. Almost giving a little bit of Noah's Ark energy to be prepared for the catastrophe disaster before it strikes, the one that no one anticipated, that no one sees coming, is bound to happen. This shift, this change, this whatever. The fool leapt before the tower caught fire. And it didn't make sense when the fool took that leap because the nine of pentacles was there. Hey David, how you doing? Because of the stability, and then the two of cups with that tower. Because of the stability of the nine of pentacles, it's almost like if someone quit something at the height of their career or when they reach a peak, and people are like, oh, why did they quit? Why did they leave? Why didn't they ride out this wave or whatever? And then after they left, boom, the tower strikes. And it's like, oh, I've survived storms before. This tower has stood for ages and it's been able to withstand whatever. And maybe it could withstand those storms, but not the one that's coming. Not the one that's here, I guess, because those towers are already there. Okay, one more. We got again the two of chalices at the cut with the nine of swords. That was the air Sagittarius that we saw yesterday. There was the earth in the air Sagittarius. Excuse me, that we saw yesterday. I keep saying yesterday. It was this morning. It was literally like maybe 13 hours ago. 13 is death, and we saw 13 in the D20. It was like firmly there. Oh, let me just cut it. I keep shuffling this. All right. So at the bottom, we have the King of Coins, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. What's interesting is just like 4 and 6 are mirrors in Roman numerals because it's IV and VI, the 6 and the 9 aren't. Like there's no apparent relation between 6 and 9. You can't turn IV upside down and get IX. But you can, if you cut it in half, you got to cut it in half to get, no, that's 4. So you would have to mirror it and then cut it in half. I'm trying to, there you go. All right. So there's 9. Imagine instead of IX, you went XI and then cut it in half. That IV would be the VI of 6. So you can still get a mirror with 6 and 9. You just have to be more, I want to say more surgical about it, but I guess surgical in the excision or in the uh, cutting in half of it. I feel like there's almost something there. And then in between the 6 and the 9 of swords, it's almost like, so we mirror something just like we do in Roman numerals, but we can't find the 6 and the 9 because there's this extra step. And it feels like this extra step that we don't know about is causing this 9 of swords energy. it almost feels like a frustration at knowing that you're in the right place, knowing that it's the right time, knowing that everything is gathered, but it's not working. Again, it's like it's a knowing that something is missing, but it's a difficulty in understanding maybe what it is. Maybe something does have to be cut. My stance has personally flipped. Just in terms of, again, and it came out sort of the energy of it came out yesterday, and it was the Six of Swords. I keep saying yesterday. This morning, the Six of Swords was being stolen away, making the transition from South Node to North Node world within themselves, reaching whatever point, and then it's like gradually over time, more and more souls sort of like make it to the new earth rather than like all at once. There's the severing, and then wherever people stand is where they fall. Now, maybe it could be like an all at once, but then there'd be like a bridge there. And if it's a bridge, is it one way or is it two way? You know, does it matter? Individually, our experience will be our experience and it will be continuous. Anyway, next we have the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Swords with the Two of Cups behind them. Queen of Wands for the King. Again, on the Queen, you can see it's mostly just around the wand and her crown. It's the wand and the crown and the Queen. Oh, is that the tail of the cat? Yeah, the tail of the cat is moving. I don't know if I've ever noticed that. But with the king, it's his whole body. This could be like your Kundalini, but this is like, I guess you could say from Earth Star because it feels like it's below the root. I can't tell. It almost looks like something is glowing behind the throne. But I don't know if that's because of the light that's like right there. You see the ring from the moon. There you go. That's the king's halo. Look at him. And that's the again, that's the trumpet blowing down and the pouring of these divine waters into a vessel of fire that's ready to receive it. That came out for one of the signs I feel like in the powers of two or three. I feel like it was a sign that it came out for. Maybe it wasn't actually. Because like heavenly fire is water on earth, but there was some energy somewhere that produced fire on earth that was the same as the fires in the heavens. It didn't have to go through a phase change, or it had decoded it efficiently or effectively. I don't know. Let's find that sign. Keep this wondering more. A man can dream. Ooh, well, lol. So here's the tower. When I did this, where was it? That. And I put the king of wands in that beam of light or whatever. Like the first strike of lightning before all of the other little ones sort of like fall out. Before all of that, this you see the light at the top of the tower. It feels like that's where this king of wands sits. And when he oh well there you go, sits in that light. Oh, it captures it. That's where that like lightning bolt strikes. That I feel like was part of Scorpio. I can't remember if it was before Scorpio in the parts of two and three, where we saw the seven and the eight of wands. But I think no, that was Taurus. because it was that instant when it was happening. That was Taurus in the powers of two and three. Anyway, we have the tower, and then the sun, and then the three of swords. Interestingly, now before the tower was the five of wands. After the tower is the knight of wands. The knight of wands rides towards justice. The five of wands comes after some kind of declaration by the emperor. The five of wands after the emperor, it feels like it's an energy of like there's an emperor that announces that it's going to step down, and the five of wands is a bunch of people that are like fighting for the throne. That takes me back to the Diablo tarot, actually. With the world card, there were many hands reaching for the world stone because there was a power that was displaced or deposed. And there were many hands that were like, I deserve it because of this, and I deserve it because of that, but none of them got it. I think it was on the Sun card in the Diablo Tarot where we saw somebody riding in on a horse with the sun at their back, who was the one that was going to claim that power. It had the energy. It's similar to the times that we've seen Phaeton that was struck down for his hubris, but in the underworld had learned to pull the chariot up so that he'd be strong enough to pull the chariot of the sun above the ground, above ground. This three of swords, this three of swords is a scar, but it's a scar that someone has that keeps them humble. It doesn't. It carries one of those energies. And again, Knight of Wands rides towards justice. After justice, if you're interested or curious, is the fool that we saw with the tower at first, the one that had jumped from the tower before the whole tower even fell apart. This fool is now looking at the Ten of Cups. And after the Ten of Cups is the Chariot. Man, I feel like this is fairly consistent messaging um, recently. What does it mean? I don't know. Who is this person? Who are these people? But yeah, but this Two of Swords almost knocked over the iced coffee. This one feels like, let's say someone was young and dumb and they made a mistake that they never want to make again. And that mistake taught them that they're not all powerful, they're not all knowing, they're not invincible, they're not above consequence or whatever. So when they come into power later, that power doesn't corrupt them because of the scar that they have from before. Now, it doesn't have to be held in a way that holds trauma. Again, it feels like it's more like grounding than anything. And it could be related to this tower. It's making me think of Spider-Man's first girlfriend, question mark, Gwen Stacy. Peter Parker's Gwen Stacy. When he tried, like, she was falling and he tried to like web sling her, catch her to break her fall, and she ended up like snapping her neck. But then that taught him like it taught him physics and anatomy of the human body and what you can do and what you can't do with them superpowers. I feel like there was an argument. I know there was an argument. I think it was in the first season of Big Bang Theory because I got that DVD for my birthday one year. They had an argument about Superman catching Lois Lane as she was falling, and I think Sheldon was the one that was like, if she was falling at that velocity and he caught her like that, she would have been cut into 3 equal pieces, like, around his arms. But anyway, it's something that we keep with us. It could be a failure that, again, it keeps us humble, it keeps us grounded, it makes sure that our ego doesn't blow up too big to the point where we start to misuse and become the very things that we don't wanna be. What's the point of getting rid of one power that doesn't work for the people just to put in another that's gonna act in the same self-interest, you know? Well, because the 3 of swords is we have the 3, 6, and 9 of swords all over here. Because it was the king of coins, 6 of swords, 9 of swords, the tower, the sun, and the 3 of swords. Because the 3 of swords is below the 9 of swords, I feel like there will come a point where we have to be okay with letting something go, and we just have to trust that we won't make the same mistakes. There will come a point when, again, like, we just have to let it go. And when we let this go, it feels like that solves the mystery of, it's like, okay, well, I mirrored the 6. I flipped the 6 to get the 9, but it's still not 9 because XI isn't the same as VI. And it feels like this 3 of swords, or letting this 3 of swords go, is what cuts that. I guess I can show it like that. This is what cuts that 9 of swords and gives you the 6. Again, imagine it flipped. Oh, justices. Wait, justice was right here. Let's see. Can we do it with justice? Can we illustrate it with justice? Oh, I can't remember if justice is. Yeah, because they're all Roman numerals. It was after the 9 of wands. Here we go. Yeah, justice is that sign. So we mirror the 9 of wands to a justice energy. So we're in this space of justice, which is XI, but we still can't figure out how to get to the VI of the 6. Or we're at the 6 of swords in justice, and then we mirror it. This 3 of swords is what cuts that. So it actually cuts 11 to give 6 VI, VI, VI. Okay, cool. Anyway, now that I've hit that point. Oh my god. Again, it feels like it's pretty consistent. I mean, if I go live frequently enough, I'm not surprised that every day is in a radically new energy. But I think sometimes in looking at something from different perspectives, we can get a more well-rounded idea of what it is. Also, maybe it's different enough that it'll resonate differently, or it'll resonate with someone. It'll resonate however it's meant. Take it as it resonates. If it doesn't, don't take it. And as we're taking it as it resonates, also be true to yourself, right? I think King of coins here. I almost wonder if the king of coins wouldn't be too literal or earthly focused to see that. I think with the king of coins, because of the king of coins' status as a king of coins, pending, I almost wonder if he would be hesitant to try anything that isn't proven to work. Like the king of coins seems more like the one that invests in something that is like steady and reliable, not necessarily the one that's going to go out and invest in something crazy. Now, if he has the resources and isn't miserly attached to them, doesn't have a miser attachment style to its resources, I can see the king of coins being like, you know what, I got enough. Let's invest in this crazy thing and see what happens. But where it feels like where when the king of coins is really like invested or whatever, it feels like something that's more reliable, something that's already proven to work. And that's where it feels like, again, something is like because these cards have Roman numerals and not the numeric whatever, there are mirrors that exist in Roman numerals that don't exist in the other number system that I can. And if we try to do operations, if we try to mirror things in the number system that we're used to, it may not necessarily carry over to these Roman numerals. Now, with the six and the nine, again, you can still get it. It just requires a little bit more. And it feels like the fool that leapt before the tower, it's almost like ahead of the curve or ahead of its time. Anything beyond, also, three of the kings are here on the table. The king of wands, the king of swords, and the king of coins are all on the table. Interestingly enough. Did we see the king? Yeah, we did see the king of cups. The king of cups was after the moon card. And the emperor. Okay. The moon, the king of cups, the ace of pentacles. This is the fourth thing. You've seen it, but I didn't pull it because it wasn't before or after any of the clarifiers, and it wasn't at the bottom of the deck. It wasn't part of the bottom three cards. I guess we'll do it like this. So the first king we saw, I'm trying to, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. BRB. All right, I am back. I don't know if you can hear me because I don't have my headphones on my head yet. And now they are. Okay. The timeline of this is interesting. I don't know if this happens simultaneously, like all at the same time, or if it happens. It feels like I would assume that the King of Wands happens last. I don't know the time. I don't know how all the pieces fit time sense. I don't know if it's simultaneous or what, but I can show you the different kings. This is the creation of an emperor, the formation of an emperor. So, with the King of Wands, with the fire, masculine fire, we have judgment and the star. The judgment of the King of Wands aligns with the judgment of the heavens. And because of that, something is bequeathed, given, or bestowed. It's the water. But these are divine waters, sacred waters. The King of Pentacles, King of Coins, is it figures out how to transmute despair into hope, but hope that has wings, it has movement. This King of Swords, it's in an energy of being open to different perspectives, but also not allowing its own truth to be substituted, diluted, or weakened by truths of another. It it retains agency over its own mind. It doesn't mean that he's inflexible, but what is his truth he retains. And then the King of Cups, almost the King of Cups' charge is to see things at a different level, at a deeper level. Because the Ace of Pentacles to me represents the world. And then these are like all of the subtle, unseen forces. It's like emotions, the reasons why people do what they do. But it sees what instigates movement. It's aware of the forces, the very important forces at play that aren't necessarily immediately visible. And then when all four of these come together, we get this emperor. Emperor mastered balance, these masculinities, the earth, the air, the fire, and the water. Masculine, earth, air, fire, and water all come together in this divine masculine. And he is the one that, again, it's like he holds it all together. And it is very burdensome. It's not necessarily easy. Now, the Five of Wands on the other side of this emperor feels like there are some that may see the emperor like, oh, this is what the emperor did, like that's how the emperor whatever, and it feels like an energy like trying to replicate what the emperor did in order to achieve the same emperor status. Now with justice on the other side of this, the justice that was partnered, I guess justice and lovers, is here, but the justice that was partnered with that Knight of Wands, the Emperor, this Emperor was born because in each of those elements, in all areas of life, he did what his intuition and discernment guided him to do in discovering himself and his role in being the best and better version of himself. But not only for him and in his own interests, but again, in a way that affects the entirety of the world around him. He's reunited. His vessel is filled with these divine waters that again turns the person that holds all this king energy into the emperor. That's the sun behind him, given these gifts by the divine. And you can take these, but if there's no charge, if there's no power, then they'll basically be useless. And then the Five of Wands is also these like how combative I guess we can be or get when it comes to again like believing that we know the right way or we have the only way or whatever. Meanwhile, the way the hills that we it's like the hills that we fight on aren't even hills that are on sometimes aren't even hills that are on our path. They're hills on someone else's path that we've made the choice and decision to go after to get what they go. And there's something about the fool that left out of the tower before it came down, that fool being the person that finds themselves as an emperor. And maybe like the tower and the three of swords is what they leave in their wake after they become this energy. But it could be in a way of like, it could be anything. It could be regret, like, oh, I should have listened to them. Like again, going back to Noah, everybody called them crazy or dumb or stupid or whatever. Ain't no wasn't nobody on board until it started to rain. But by then it was too late. But our intuition discernment, it tells all of us. It guides all of us in the ways that we are to be. It's our job to listen to it, follow it or not. It's our job to make choices and decisions. We got free will. It's our job to use it. That's it. We can use it one way. Now, of course, there are tools and virtues and beliefs that help these kings with their challenges. Yeah, that's why the King of Wands ends up as the sun. And again, with the Hanged Man, it can be a path that is entirely its own. That crown of this Hanged Man shines very similarly to the orb in the hand of this emperor. And this, but surging up the Ankh, is similar to the rising energy of the King of Wands. What does this mean? When is this going to happen? I feel like, though, again, it'd be important for us to follow our own paths rather than try to replicate what someone else did, especially if it's not our path. But again, this almost feels like, again, going back to Diablo Tarot, how there were all of those hands grasping for something, but then someone else emerges on the scene and like they've already got it. So it'll resonate how it's supposed to resonate. Or maybe it's just a fun story. All them look at this. It's been over an hour. Mm, like I did an hour earlier and an hour now. There's your wow, this was good. And this was between the elements of water and fire. Those are the two kings we started with. King of Wands and the King of uh first two kings we saw were the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. The King of Wands and the King of Cups. King of Wands and the King of Cups. Those water and fire elemental energies masculinely aspected. Yeah, I'm sure we saw a quote somewhere. Magician and the Eight of Wands. I feel like it's self-explanatory. That and at that point, it's almost like this. It's almost like the verification process for the divine verification process. At that point, that's like your faith and your words and your. That's when you start doing. But because of your alignment to the divine, it's because of Jesus's relationship with his Father, and that he was trusted to wield that power, that he was able to do what he was able to do in real time. The cards, they spewed out. We got cards on the floor. Oh, goodness. I'm tethered, so I'm going to take this off. We just saw this Three of Wands this morning. But wait, there's more. I guess you could say. I'll wait till I put my headphones back on. I think it was just those two. Yeah, it looks like it was just those two. I guess you could say it is almost like this energy of a second coming, but it's a second coming that's more like a second birth, you know? Then there's the Ace of Coins. Okay. I tried to shuffle the whole thing. I gotta I could probably do better if I shuffled it this way. Oh gosh. Nine of Cups, Eight of Wands. That's the fire of Scorpio and the water of Sagittarius. Even if I smush them down, this deck is massive. All right. Oops. Oh my gosh. Come on. There we go. I got this half. I got that half. And the cards from the first half. The half of the wands at the bottom of the deck. This is like, it's almost like the dancing sword. The wands, again, this is the energy of that king of wands that's able to, it's stationary and it's able to move things like remotely because of the energy that it travels. These, oh, something just like failed. These wands that are flying from the air are surging with the same energy that the king of wands was sitting from the crystal. And again, it came out with the magician, very similar. Then we got the four of chalices, was this Cancerian energy, the water of Cancer we saw yesterday. Whoa, that's just. I guess I could have showed you. I know what that means to me, but I could have showed you to ask you what it means to you. But you saw the cards. Four of wands, eight of wands, four of cups, eight of wands. Flipped right over. Bottom of the deck is the three of coins. The eight of wands and the three of coins. It's like this is but one aspect. This is but one part, one piece. There are two other pieces and parts that need to be present. Or it could be like duties. Page of wands at the bottom over here. With the page of coins, page of wands, page of coins at the cut. This is the earth and fire of Aquarius. Again, I want to do more with that. I just don't know. I don't know how. Mhm. Let's see. Oh. Now the page of coins is there. The water of Aquarius. Page of cups. Did I say coins? The page of cups is there. Water of Aquarius with the eight of cups at the bottom of the deck. All right. No card for this. Queen of Swords. The heir of feminine heir of the Empress. Bottom of the deck is again the page of chalices, water of the queen. So low hanging fruit. This is the heir of the Empress that we've already seen. This feels like this is what she does. Is this a process where we observe and the page of coins? Or I keep saying coins, the page of cups is observing. The water of Aquarius is observing the air, feminine air. It kind of sort of is similar. It feels like it's similar but different. when the Air of the Empress first came out, it was an energy. We had asked her to do something that she believes she shouldn't have to do because we should be able to do it. It's like we claim to be this and we claim to be that. We should be able to. It's like, if we're quote unquote adults, we should be able to take care of our own whatever, our own needs and handle our own messes, fix our own problems, fix the problems that we cause. Not that we don't need help from time to time, but it was almost like that energy. But she taught through uh action. It was an energy that was like, watch me work and take notes, pick up what you can. But it feels like this is more so her in her element. She doesn't necessarily have the same edge that she had when she first came out or appeared. There was that eight of coins at the bottom. So this is almost the remote work of the king of wands. That is the exertion of his influence. That was one of the pentacles in the three of pentacles. It feels like something about her is another one of the pentacles in the three of pentacles. And it's interesting, maybe it isn't more interesting that the feminine is present in its air and the masculine is at a distance communicating through its fire. Cool. That's what I got. Take it as it resonates. If it resonates, and if it don't resonate, don't take it. I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path journey will you find. And that's it for me. I have two of these because it was like get to at a discounted price or safe shipping. If I ever do a D10, I would want to spend both of these at the same. So on the door, it's a six. On the D10, eight, and on D20, it's it's in between 4 and 12. I'm leaning four anyway. Right. Yeah. I don't know what this is. So take it as it resonates. If it resonates, and if it don't resonate, don't take it. Don't be afraid to follow your own path, your own journey. Don't be afraid to work with your own intuition and discernment. Don't be afraid to allow the divine to show you something, even if it goes against what someone that you trust or respect may say, do, or think, or even if you feel like you're the only one. Because what is for you is for you. And yeah, and many applications and variations of that.